That's it. I've had it with this dump. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Vivek made an appearance on Ben Shapiro's show today and absolutely demolishes the ABC moderators for the debate that happened between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below, smash the like button, and let's get into the video.
Debate, the 3-on-1 pile-on, the David Muir and Lindsey Davis versus Donald Trump debate. What was your take?
So a few things. I mean, I'll call like I see it, right? Did Kamala Harris exceed the already low and purposefully low expectation set for her? Yeah, I think she did. But the media narrative is now magnifying that into something that was very different than what actually happened. I thought Donald Trump's best moment, I think the best moment for either candidate on substance last night, I actually think, was Donald Trump being able to inform a lot of independent voters and a lot of undecided voters what his actual position, the Republican Party's actual position is on abortion, on IVF, where they've told the public for a long time, the Harris campaign and the media has abetted this, saying that he would sign a federal ban on abortion. I actually thought that was one of the exchanges where he came out with crystal clarity, and also the fact that he's going to champion IVF.
I think he did a very good job with that as well. We're going to get back into the video. Don't worry about it. But I think he did a very good job with that as well. His closing statements were solid. And also he formed policies throughout that debate that Kamala Harris necessarily did not show up for. She had some good talking points and some good like soundbite moments, but that was all prepared with zero freaking policies.
That seems like one of the smaller topic-focused takeaways from last night. But if you fast forward this 3 weeks, that's one of the most substantive impacts I think it's going to have on the race for an issue that a lot of people do seem to think is a big one for the presidential race at the level of voters. I think the 3-on-1 pile-on was an embarrassment for ABC. I think that David Muir in particular did an awful job of even feigning even-handedness. Often what you see in media bias is you'll see the appearance of feigning balance. I think in David Muir's case, they didn't even try to feign balance with the number of times they fact-checked, I use that in air quotes, fact-checked Donald Trump, but without even attempting to really go after Kamala Harris for her prevarication on a wide range of topics. So that was a bit of a disappointment. The other thing that I think President Trump, could hit even harder, I think he hit it hard last night, but I hope in any future debates that come up he does, is the question he really nailed in the conclusion, which is, why haven't you done everything that you're now saying you're going to do over the 4 years that you actually held power along with Joe Biden? He made a compelling case for that in the closing. I thought one of his sharpest moments was actually said when he said, we can end this debate and you can actually go back and sign a bill. And if not sign a bill, take an executive action that would close the border. And in some ways that, in that short moment, highlighted what I think is probably his most powerful argument throughout all of her race to the center. She can say what she wants, but her actions speak louder than words. And I think the best moments for him were last night when he actually allowed that theme to come through. Overall, 2 weeks from now, I don't think this is going to have a major impact on the race. I think it's going to come down to a couple of open issues that haven't been addressed on policy by Kamala Harris. But that's my hot off the press.
No, I mean, I totally agree, obviously, with all of that. I think that mostly for me and for a lot of people, this felt like a missed opportunity more than anything else, because Kamala Harris has been avoiding questions like the plague. She's going to continue to avoid questions like the plague because she can't answer any of those questions. And it seems to me this race really revolves around Donald Trump establishing about her 3 very basic principles. 1, she's the vice president. She's currently responsible for everything that is happening in the White House. The president is not competent. She's the vice president. She owns all of this. 2, she's a far leftist. She herself has said her values have not changed. So even if she's pretending that her actual policies have changed, her values have not, she's admitted as much. And 3, she's an incompetent, and she's always been an incompetent. And I don't think that he actually was able to really establish any of those things on the stage last night. I think he planted seeds. The problem was that there was so much going on. He was so distracted, I think, by many of the attacks that she was leveling against him, against his rallies, that it just felt discombobulated. And what we really needed was something that was a lot more focused. And I'm hoping that there are 2 months to go. It's still a long time, that this campaign gets a lot more focused on those issues and just sticks to those issues and pummels her on those.
It was fairly difficult to do that when it's a 3v1, 3 versus 1. It was the moderators, Dave, shoulder pads, and Kamala Harris against Donald Trump. Is very hard to pinpoint that. And, you know, granted, it is the moderator's job to ask follow-up questions. In my opinion, the debate with ABC was the moderators did a horrible job. They actually made CNN look good with the debate with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. They had actually made them look good.
Yeah, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse and complaining about aspects of last night. One hard reality is that would have been a job for the moderators in a format in which they have muted mics. You know, Donald Trump, I think, did try at several points in time to address questions to Kamala Harris, but that wasn't the level or the type of format that had been negotiated. And when the moderators completely abdicated that responsibility, I think it was a missed opportunity for voters, is what I would say, to see a lot of those holes in Kamala Harris's policy positions. I agree with 90% of what you said. The only part I disagree with, you and maybe some others when they've made this claim is I think calling Kamala Harris a far left Marxist is almost giving her too much credit. It assumes that she's ideological, right? Bernie Sanders is ideological. Okay, you could give somebody, I disagree with his ideology, but he has an ideology. I don't think Kamala Harris particularly has an ideology. I think what's closer to the flame is the idea that she's just another cog in the system.
You said it before, it's totally right, by the way. It's totally right. I mean, they're slapping a new coat of paint on this ugly jalopy. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my perspective on, as we wrap up the debate from last night. Basic thing is I think a lot's going to happen in the next 6 weeks, and 2 weeks from now, I think much of that debate's going to be irrelevant, except for, I think, the ability to take the legs out from under the Democrat argument on abortion, which I think was a quiet but underappreciated positive coming out of last night.
Tim Kaine just admitted that he and the Dems are very concerned about Kamala Harris in this particular race. Here's what he had to say.
I'm very concerned. And I tell people all the time, somebody asked me in Chicago, what'd you learn from 2016? And I said, you can't win by a little. You got to win by a lot.
Speaking about not winning by a little, but winning by a lot, let's jump into some poll numbers that recently came out earlier today. The Electoral College has Trump at 297, winning in that category. Harris at 241. The odds of a Donald Trump win is at 53%. That is a +7. Harris at a 46%. And the odds for swing states, Harris has Michigan at 53%. Trump has Wisconsin at 51%. Trump in Pennsylvania at 53%. Trump in Nevada at 54%. Trump in Georgia at 63%. Trump in Arizona at 63%. And North Carolina, also Trump at 64%. The popular vote has Harris at 49.5% and Trump at 48%. And in my opinion, Donald Trump shows incredible resilience regarding all of the crap that he is currently going through. He is showing incredible resilience. And he's still staying calm and collective. Although in some portions of the debate, he did have a little bit of emotion protrude through, but that's totally understandable because the guy's going through a lot. And the Dems and Kamala Harris are lying through their teeth. Here's what Jesse Waters had to say.
I think we should all stop saying Donald Trump should have done this and that. He's Donald Trump. He does what he does. He's 78. You can't expect a man to change that much. But what makes him so emotional at these debates and so volatile is also a characteristic that makes him able to withstand getting his home raided, being called a Nazi for 5 years, being arrested, being put in a cold courtroom, being shot and standing up, fight. So yes, you can have a perfect candidate that acts like Mitt Romney, with great hair and discipline and perfect talking points and elocution, but he's not going to be able to withstand the avalanche of attacks, dirty tricks that Donald Trump has.
Bahezi was on Frank's speech today, and he talks about what the Democrats have done to the Black community specifically. Democrats have won 6 out of the last 12 presidential elections. And they continue to say that they're going to do things for the community. and they have yet to do anything.
If you're black in this country, what you just watched was a woman who's been in power for decades, California, in the Senate, as San Francisco DA. And what she did was tell you things she's going to do that she has never done while in any other office that you've elected her into. If you're black in this country and you are sitting down right now thinking, I'm going to vote for this woman because she's going to bring change, then unfortunately, I feel really odd saying this, but you deserve everything Democrats have been doing to the black community for decades. Democrats took a community that was oppressed under Jim Crow, yet thriving, and turned it into a cesspool of poverty and degeneracy. They infiltrated black culture, and they are now replacing you with illegals from third world countries. This is the point that you need to get from this debate. They are replacing you with millions of illegals. And if you don't understand that, then unfortunately, you kind of deserve everything Democrats are doing. Please understand, these Democrats are going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. They're every 4 years, they'll come out of nowhere. You know, there's going to be some black guy that gets arrested by the cops. We just had that happen with Tyreek Hill, and the media is going to blow it out of proportions. And they're going to say, if you vote Republican, this is going to happen to black men. You're going to be lynched. When Trump was in power for 4 years, all black America received was a boost in an economy. They got a lot more money. Their salaries went up. That's all that happened. He didn't take your rights away. He didn't re-implement slavery. In fact, he specifically created plans to bring growth to the black community. So please vote accordingly. I just had to say that. I hijacked your show, man. Like these migrants doing these apartments.
You didn't, and you went to actually do that. I think we should send you, and I may send you to Springfield to go and check out whether or not they're eating cats and dogs.
I ain't going to no Ohio, man. They're gonna think I'm one of the perpetrators, man.
Come on.
There you have it, guys. A recap post-debate. Vivek absolutely destroying ABC. ABC's getting demolished right now because of their bias bullcrap that they pulled at the debate with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Let me know what you guys think about this whole scenario. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. Share, subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.